ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 22 ਫਰਵਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਰਡ 12 ਦੀਆਂ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਆਪਣਾ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਦਿਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਆਉਣਗੇ, ਪਰ ਆਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਦਨੀਸ਼ਾ ਭਾਲੂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਕੈਲਗਰੀ ਦੇ ਬੋਰਨ ਨੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਦਨੀਸ਼ਾ, ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਆਵਰ ਵਿਊਅਰਸ।
Thank you for having me.
What made you run?
I looked at our current city council right now, and when you look at Edmonton, there's 50-50 men and women. It's very diverse, it's very ethnic, and there's no one on council that represents that right now. There's only one woman on council, with Amarjeet Sohi now left to do his federal work. There's no one with ethnic diversity, and the average age of city council is over 45. So I think we need a council and a leadership that represents our city.
What are the main issues with Ward 12 that you think those has to be addressed during the next few years?
So I've been going door to door and talking to people for the last several months, and the three issues that come up the most is safety and crime prevention, making sure that families feel safe in their communities. Transit is a big issue right now. And with the budget just coming out and people are getting their tax assessments, it's how do you manage your money efficiently?
With the downturn in the economy, Edmonton is, mostly hard hit in Canada comparing to other cities, and federal government has promised to fund for infrastructure. So what do you think we can gain from that funding?
I think with Amarjeet Sohi being our cabinet minister, he was a big advocate for infrastructure, and he represents Edmonton still as an MP and our community of Ward 12. I think that means that we have a great future ahead of us when it comes to physical and social infrastructure. And I would look forward to working with him, because I know him very well, in the future, to making sure that the community and the city gets what it needs from federal funding.
What are your expertise, your experience before running for the council?
So I work right now with Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I've been working with children and families my entire life. So I understand the needs of children, especially children who come from immigrant and Aboriginal families and who are living in poverty or low income. I think that with the economy being the way it is, we have to take into account that even middle-class families are being hurt right now, but how are lower-income class families feeling? Because they were already hurt before the economy collapsed the way it is. So it's being that voice for them and that perspective for them. And that's the experience I have my whole life, is being their advocate.
Out of three levels of government, federal, provincial, and municipal, what do you think municipal government's role, especially in this environment, to create jobs? How can council help in that, and how can you contribute in that?
I think municipal government, out of all of governments, has the biggest role to play. It's closest to the people. I once heard from Mayor Nenshi and Mayor Iveson say that if the federal government left, we wouldn't notice for a little while. If provincial government left, we wouldn't notice for a little while. But if municipal government wasn't there, you would know that your water doesn't work or your snow is not being shoveled. It's closest to the people, and it's the day-to-day, and those are the people that we need to do these jobs. So I think when we look at the economy, when we look at jobs, we're front line with the people, and they need to be able to come to us first when they're struggling, so that we can help them first.
Your background, education, training, how can that contribute towards being a good councillor?
I think I bring a different perspective to City Council. I think that right now, from what I know, there's nobody on City Council that brings that not-for-profit background, that brings the background of working with children and families. So I bring that to the table. I know how to manage a budget effectively. I know how to steward people's money. That's what I do right now for a living. So I make sure that we do the best that we can with what we have. And I think that's something that is needed on council right now.
Why do you think the voters should be voting for you?
I think they should be voting for me because when you look at the gap on city council, I fit all those gaps. I'm a woman, I have the skills and the experience, I'm ethnically diverse, and I'm a voice for people who are vulnerable, who don't have that voice on city council right now. And I think with my background, with my experience, with my support, I think I can bring a lot to city council and bring that voice to those to the ward, but to the city, because I feel like I'm a city builder and that's my experience.